27, 28, 29, 30. Ready or not, here's Batman. Here's Johnny.
Right. Back. It may not. We've been gone longer than you think.
What?
You won't know if you've gone from one to the next, but we took a break for a couple weeks. We recorded a bunch of these in one, so I didn't even remember where we were.
You gotta just pretend like it's just been this is another day.
Yeah, we haven't moved from the couch at all. We cleared this room. Although the guys are gone. I don't know if that's. Oh, did I not do that? I thought I did this last time. I did do this last time. Remember? Because we made the joke about the silly bats. Okay. Sure. We made the joke about the weird bat things he draws. Well,
that's definitely not a bat thing.
We did this in the last episode. See? Oh, it's worse.
It's worse.
Go back to the other episode. I swear, the other episode. See, look, this one's better. It's got the spikes in the ears.
It does. This one.
Damn it. That's weird because that's just a weird, creepy bacon.
It's not bacon. This is
a curl of bacon.
It's
a smile.
It's his inner. He's trying to follow his art teacher's advice of just drawing whatever he feels.
Can I get some? I can't make any other marks.
This is what's going.
I did. Those did make marks. See?
This is what's going on inside my heart right now.
What is it? It's a smiley face.
It's a caterpillar.
What? Oh, this is a calamitous intro.
No, it's not.
It's a bit calamitous. But at least everyone's dead. I'm glad about that. What is this?
Okay.
Batman is glad, of course, when things are dead.
He's glad. He's glad that everyone.
Oh, hey, it's the Iron Giant.
Gone. Don't go there, drudging up old emotion.
It's only you have that old emotion. We talked about this in a previous record that no one ever heard. That was the first time we did. The whole conversation got lost because of that one time. Well, so there you go. Talk about Iron Giant. I didn't like Iron Giant that much.
Why is that?
Because I'm an adult.
Wow.
I don't mean that as denigrating as it sounds, but I think it's true. I think
it's too late.
It passed me by as a kid. I never saw it.
Well, that's the problem.
And I don't know why, because I was a kid at the time it came out.
See, as a kid,
but for some reason it passed me by.
Here's the thing.
So as an adult, I wasn't. It's a good movie. Let me clarify. It's not a bad movie. I'm not going to be like, oh, it's a kid's movie and I hated it. It's a perfectly fine movie, but I was not as emotionally invested as a child would have been, because it's about a kid. And if you're not a kid, you won't feel the same things the kid feels. But it's still an okay movie. I'm not. It's more on a personal level. I'm not saying it was bad, because it was still critically speaking good.
I felt like there's actually a video I was watching that talked about the fact that it was actually more of a coming of age story, which I appreciated.
Of course it is.
Yeah, but in a very
because they're coming of age for both of them.
Yes, but my point in that is that there is a part of that is emotional. Because, forgive me for talking over this very significant scene.
It's not that... Oh, okay, it might be getting significant. It's turning significant. Never mind. Okay. I was about to say it wasn't.
Would have been in that for just a moment.
Do you recognize this voice at all? Oh, you're not going to recognize it now because we're having distortion. Listen when you hear it. Hang on. Wait till it goes back to normal. Here you go. Listen. Oh, I think I have to go open the door.
Is it the weird guy with
Listen. Oh.
Okay.
Listen.
So it's the guy on the phone.
It's not him. No. This is Roz. You recognize the actor is what I'm saying.
No, I don't.
You haven't watched Clone Wars as much as me, because if you had, you'd know that this is none other than D. Bradley Baker.
Oh.
Who's like everything you've ever known as a kid, but most famously, probably not most famously, most relevantly to me, he voices all of the clones in the Clone Wars.
Oh, that's interesting.
So yes.
No, so anyway, going back to what I was saying with Iron Giant, the issue is that I feel like it's emotional as a kid because you are watching it partially looking forward to the kind of life stage progression of saying, hey, I have to let go and move on because I'm, coming of age and I'm having to be mature and all this other stuff. And there's a part of
You're
that
talking
that
about
is
on
emotional.
the kid case or the robot's case? Whoa.
Both, but I think that
the robot is much more childlike than the kid.
Yes, but the robot frames it in saying like the kid has to let go some of the childish things that he in a self-serving kind of methodology that he initially had, because he has to think of what's best for the robot, which is then their parting is one of the most significantly emotional scenes.
Yeah, but I just wasn't. I recognized it as being a significant scene, but I wasn't like, oh, I'm touched just because I think I'm old.
Well, that's a fair assessment. I mean, I don't think that if you didn't have
it's
any
certainly not.
emotional-
I'm sure even someone my age who watched it as a kid would have gotten emotional for nostalgic reasons.
Yes.
She's not dead.
I'm not saying I cried about it. I just thought it was very well. She's just taking a nap.
She's not dead. She's sitting upright. She looks like she's about to get back up. I'm doing terribly at the combat.
I'm just saying, I don't know if I ever cried about it, but it definitely was enough that I was like, oh, this is a really sad, significant part. I mean,
yeah, it's not a bad movie. It's a good movie. I liked even certain parts of it. I actually liked this is what we'll say. I can't remember how I'm. Oh, am I dumb? Is this the direction I'm supposed to go? There's no, I can't open this door. Hey, Roz, can you let me in? Oh, I'm silly. I wasn't using my detective skills. This will tell you more about me, I suppose, than anything else. I found the beatnik guy, like the older dude, to be I liked him a little more, which I suppose tells you about the stage of life I'm in. You remember? You know who I'm talking about, right? The dude. The other guy who's
yeah.
I found myself more sort of relating to him, which I guess,
that part of that
reveals
it's just an age thing.
Well, exactly, yeah. But I suppose that's a credit to the movie that you can relate to any character based on your own stage of life.
Yeah. There you go.
It's that's totally Iron Giant-y. Look at that face. Not that face. Hang on. Not that face. See?
His veins are starting to cut.
Or the egos. I remember. This part of the game sort of stretches me a little bit because it's like.
Now I understand where you were going with the whole Age of Ultron concept.
Kate, you're jumping ahead of us. We're not even done with this topic.
Well, no, but I mean, now I understand why you were kind of referencing
because but this is very. It's
very Iron Giant. Yes, for sure.
But it's a little bit more of a stretch than I can make because it's like we're supposed to believe that because this place we talked all over it. This is basically the equivalent of like old Gotham underneath. We're technically underneath the city right now. And there was the place, it was called Wonder City, where it was like super technologically stuff. And they had these robot things, and this was supposed to be in like the 30s.
Wait. So almost a steampunky vibe?
No, they're I think electric, but it's anachronistic, certainly.
Sure.
But yeah, I didn't love this part of the game as much. Especially because the gameplay here is a little forced, where it's literally like we gotta just watch. Gotta scan data.
I mean, as you said,
he's broken.
It is anachronistic. It's the exactly.
Yeah, he just said.
Yeah, that's the issue.
I want to get this off. So guess what?
See, this reminds me a bit of depending on where you guys are at, I would really recommend that you visit the Seattle Underground, Seattle, Washington, by the way.
What?
Because
I don't even know what you're talking about.
Because it's very interesting. You talked about the fact that this is built underneath, or this is rather like New Gotham is built on top of Old Gotham to a degree. That's actually true in Seattle.
I was not aware of that.
You are able to take a underground tour in which there are storefronts and stuff underground.
That's really weird. I never knew this.
Yes. So it's very interesting
if
you happen to be in that area.
Huh.
Or ever.
There you go.
Not that we are in that area.
Not that we're endorsing going there.
Very much not.
Whoa,
but if you happen to be.
I was even thinking this week, I was like, I was trying to remember what the appropriate way to perform the blade dodge takedown. This is not a helpful angle, Batman.
Meaning the actual move, like the
whenever they do
controls?
I'm doing terribly at it. Because there was supposed to be some... I found it out
down,
once.
L, and then...
I get almost all the way there, and then whoa! He wound that up something fierce.
She's doing a spready to the gods.
You could edit. I feel like you need to green screen that and make her like floating in the clouds or something.
I actually did that at one point.
I have seen things.
To my father-in-law. There was a picture of my father-in-law.
I recall that picture.
I took and literally turned it and greened him against like clouds or something, and it was pretty funny.
This is what I don't like about this section is this, where it's like, oh, we're trying to find data that's stored in these robots' heads, but every time we scan one, it breaks, which doesn't make sense. How is that? How are we?
I understand.
What
are
we
mean,
doing
though.
to it that would cause it to break?
It definitely.
We're
feels
not touching it.
It feels a bit disjointed because it does feel like these two technological worlds
it's a little dark there, Riddler.
That is very dark. Yeah, they don't seem to coincide as far as getting along.
Not just on a story level. I'm like, why do I got to do this? Why do you got to make me download the data 10% at a time from robots that routinely break?
Various robots rather than just.
And especially because it's like you'll get most of the way and you'll be at like 90% data, and then you will struggle forever to find the last robot because I don't remember where they all are. Yeah, I don't know.
Well, even just the whole concept of like, these were the guardians of the city at the time. It's like, why?
This is the place with the helpful guardians. Well, because, and this is more efficient than just a plain old police force for some reason.
It was early RoboCop. I think
Constable.
Robo-Constable. I think we actually talked briefly about RoboCop for a while, too, in one of our other episodes.
I don't recall, because have you seen RoboCop? I have not.
Not in the new one, no.
No, I haven't seen any of them. I haven't seen the old one either. It's on my list. I will... Woo!
It will be one that will be interesting. I recall seeing...
It will be one that will be... Let me see if I can do it.
I recall seeing it once when I was very young, and it was very...
When you were very
80s.
young, that's probably not...
How
young?
Well,
it's rated R.
Well, I'm saying...
Were you left alone again? Was this one of those fever dreams you had when you were homesick?
No.
That was... I am getting sliced up. These sword ladies suck.
This was like when I was watching TV with my dad, and it happened to be on.
Oh, so your dad let you do it.
Well,
I can believe that. Oh, okay, so she's dead.
When it's
she
on
just
TV,
fell 3 stories.
I feel like it's a little bit forgiving.
It might have been, it was probably edited.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
But yeah,
I found that out the hard way when I watched another movie. I can't remember which one it was.
Which wasn't edited or was?
That wasn't edited, and I was thinking, I've seen this before.
They've stopped doing that recently. Because of changes in like standards of TV and stuff, they've stopped a lot of it used to be a safe bet to watch a film you knew was rated R on a plane, because you're like, it's on a plane, they have to have their whatever standards, and they don't anymore. I learned that when I tried to watch Deadpool on a plane. I was like, I've heard about this, but I've heard some of the stuff that you might want to skip. Oh, found a robot. And I was like,
on a plane.
Yeah, I was like, a plane, perfect. It'll be edited. And then I was like, they've clearly changed their standards because it wasn't. I don't know what Riddler was doing down here. Being a ponce is what he was doing. This establishes This establishes a method we will use up on the surface for dealing with Riddler thingies. There's 3 of these, if you're paying attention. There's 3 of these floor plates. But you can't touch anything else between touching them. So, now you see how it's glowing and this one's glowing. If I had touched any part of the floor before that, it would have stopped. And
so they changed it. It's not a timing issue.
No,
anymore.
it's just... some of them will be. It's like you got to do this, and it's just... the Riddler parts of this game I don't love.
Well, you've mentioned
I've said that several times. Riddler, if you like Riddler by the end of this game, I don't know what's up with you. Because he's obnoxious. Well, there you go. I feel like we've been all over the map for the first couple minutes.
Well, not necessarily. I mean, we talked
briefly
about
Iron Giant and RoboCop and how much we don't love certain parts of this game, and this spread eagle chick. I think what sells it is the way one arm's up and the other one's sticking out. Like, I imagine her sitting on top of a fence post overlooking a feudal Japanese, tower.
She's got a cup of sake in her hand.
That wasn't the direction I was going, but sure. I know there's more of them somewhere, and I can't find them. Oh, I was already in here. Oh, but there's this. Yeesh. I make it sound like we're more down. I'm down on the game in certain parts. It's just that I have played it so many times that I have extensive thoughts.
Well,
so they come across as more harsh criticism than I mean sometimes.
Yeah, I was about to say, even with the whole anachronistic thing, at what point do you say this is a part of how they create narrative within a story to make it interesting? I mean,
we got all of it.
If you just did everything that was obvious, it wouldn't be that exciting or interesting a game.
Wow. I don't. Well,
I
played it up to be a lot harder than it was. That we didn't take us that long. I remember
must have been using
secret entrance. The first time I played this, it was like took me hours.
Look at her moving those bricks.
Well, by the very dint of the fact that we didn't know where they went, it's like, well, obviously it was some kind of secret entrance.
Well, but
we didn't know.
She literally rolled that up like a garage door. Well, look. Watch it.
Don't worry, I'm about to do it.
Okay. That makes me feel... No, see, that's a little stupid.
It looks like a sword fits here. Wow. I wonder who's carrying swords. Thank you for yours. See? She literally lets me in. And then I kill her. I'm going to leave that there, though.
You fool. They've all got swords.
Oh, yeah, that's another part of the... We talked about that in the other episode, didn't we? About how this is all supposed to have taken place in like 12 hours.
Yeah, that seems
a little
far-fetched.
Because we've been playing this for more than... Well, I suppose not. If you add up all the videos we've made so far, this would be what? Episode 6? And they've each been a little over an hour, and the first one was like, extra.
Slightly extra. It was like 2 hours.
No, it was a little less than that. Yeah, but then... Yeah, so I guess we're probably sitting at like...
8 or 7.
Probably, I would... Yeah. So I guess maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's a little more realistic than I thought. Maybe I think that's also because I know what I'm doing.
Well, that may be true.
So
what
are
your thoughts on that within the whole grander narrative of games?
Because I assure you, the first time I played this, it took me longer than 12 hours.
Sure, but I mean, like with Skyrim and some of those other ones, you go...
Well, those are much longer.
Like when you're riding a horse... Do you enjoy the fact that it takes you as long as it would, like if you were actually traveling from one city to the next?
But even then it doesn't.
Well, right, but I'm saying, do you find that as like an interesting, engaging kind of draws you into the game, or do you find that like obnoxious and I'd rather just get where I'm going?
I feel like it depends on my mood. I, in fact, always I have. It's not really a rule. I have a sort of self. Evaluation where if I get to a point in something like Skyrim or another open worldy game where I'm like fast traveling a lot because I'm like I just want to get this quest over with, I usually stop because I'm like clearly I'm not enjoying the game as much anymore. It's like if I've been playing for several hours and I start doing that, I go I should probably be done because clearly I'm getting tired of it. I tagged that regular trophy, right? Did I? And now I gotta do it again. We can't get this one yet because of this mine thingy will explode if we go near it, and that's a piece of tech we don't yet have. Oh, already tried it. Okay, good. I'm not paying attention, as I never am. Let's clunkily move on to the Age of Ultron topic since you brought it up already. You had the good segue, and now we're gonna make it a worse segue. Oh, but hang on, plot relevant. Batman is sick. Can't move.
That was a bit of interpolation there.
I never actually realized that your health.
Hold on there. Batman is sick. That felt very much like. Meanwhile, back in the game.
Oh,
it's his parents.
It is actually. Were you making that joke on purpose, or were you?
No, I was. I knew that that's what it was. Step into the light.
We missed you so much.
Okay.
Yeah. Except
darkness.
No parents. Got a disease. Kinda makes life sucky. Oh, they're certainly doing that.
So back to your interpolation of
Age of Ultron.
Age of Ultron.
The weakest Avengers movie, which is not a controversial statement. No. Think about it. Avengers 1, classic, Endgame, or rather, Infinity War and Endgame, The only
That's
other
true.
one is
I always think of Civil War as
everyone. I do
I
too,
know,
and it's
and
not.
it's really
and even
not.
then, you wouldn't put that lower than Age of Ultron.
No.
Yeah,
well, I kind of would. I feel like Age of Ultron was okay versus.
It was okay, and Civil War was much better than okay. We talked about our issues with it, but I still think it's a good movie.
It's a good movie, but I felt like Age of Ultron was decent. I didn't feel like
I agree that it's decent, but that's not a high bar for the Marvel movies.
So explain yourself. I mean,
well, I'll do
qualify
that
why
after Batman passes out one more time.
I mean, I wasn't aware that the fan base apparently thought this. So.
I mean, it's not that they all think it's terrible. It's that it's regarded as the most okay of all of them.
We have.
So you talked in the this harkens back to our first episode where you said you'd go Talia if you had to pick a partner.
I recognized your personal guard. It was just a matter of...
Because to me, she's.
I said she's evil, and that maintains the truth.
I appreciate women that can.
You appreciate women
can actually handle themselves without having
to
be.
So can Catwoman.
You didn't need to get yourself arrested.
Sure.
We
had to rescue her the first time.
Well, from Two-Face, I mean that's a high bar of capture.
Sure.
The real question is, what's with every single chick in this game wearing some kind of midriff suit? With the exception of Catwoman, who just has her zipper down to her belly button.
I'm sorry, you caught me off guard with that one.
Okay.
I don't know. I mean, maybe crop tops were a bit. Oh, his eyebrows are freed. My eyebrows hurt really bad.
My head
My
hurts.
veins are popping out.
I've told you how much this mask hurts my face.
Is that actually in the first recording? Because I remember we talked about it.
It is.
And then
it's before we lost the footage.
Okay, so clarification. There was a whole mess of footage that we lost one evening.
No, they know that. I explained it in the video.
Yes, but I just mean there's... So
that was before we lost it, so that's in the video. Have you not watched it yet?
Yes, but I'm saying there's a bit of hodgepodge of the topics we're trying to pick up in retroactively.
Well, don't you. This is just your fault. I categorize everything into things we've talked about and not yet.
Okay.
I am organized.
Or you could just be
now,
stiff.
I think that she's.
And
lucid.
Sure.
I don't think a woman ever has walked this way naturally.
Especially downstairs.
That's affected. That is certainly something she's doing on purpose.
She's got a hip.
She's
issue.
going, he's behind me. I gotta make sure I sell this.
I've got massive hip dysplasia.
So Batman's got a permanent furrow and she's got scoliosis.
Is it hip dysplasia? That's scoliosis. That's completely different.
I know. I was saying scoliosis for effect.
Okay.
Also, that jacket had to have been tailor-made to be that tight. A jacket's not meant to be that tight.
Pretty sure that's not a jacket. It's just paint.
And here's what's interesting about, I suppose this actually blows a hole in my previous theory, talking about how Batman and Captain America should technically be on the same power level. Because Batman is like hours from death at this point. And we're now going to take on Ra's al Ghul's like mental mind screwery challenge.
Oh, the little
the goblet of no, it's not that. Well, you drink this stuff, but it's a similar enough thing.
It's a similar notion.
And he chugs it, man, like a man. He just goes, "Give it to me." And then he throws the chalice. I threw it through the floor. But like this is supposed to be like an age-old challenge that he's used for centuries to try and find a replacement, and no one's done it. And Batman, who's on the cusp of death, manages to do it first try. So I suppose that makes him a little overpowered. But this is also a video game.
Well, that's true.
Touch anything along the way. All right, so this is where I've got to use my expertise with our... This is where the training we did with the glide suit comes in handy. Because you got to learn to... You got to follow his little trail. And you can't touch the ground, which means if you... Ooh, I screwed it up. I think I can do this. Oh, okay. I was supposed to get here. Yeah. This is this sequence of the game is more interesting. The Wonder City, the first time I played it, was like I was just lost for hours. What?
I am curious. A lot of people have issues with like the massive...
That is true. A lot of people do have issues.
Just let them be. No, you don't.
We have to fix them. I'm not going to continue that quote. I'm going to screw it up. I like how he lets me use my grappling hook. That's a nice allowance on Ra's al Ghul's part. You can't touch the ground, but I'll let you use that bat. Woo, hello. I gotta get better at this knife thing, dude, because these sword guys are gonna rip me a new one. Several new ones, in fact. I've got like 8 new ones already.
Well, I mean...
Okay. I think it's... I swear their animations, like the timing is different because they've got swords. The knife guys, I swear, are much faster with their knives. Which makes sense. A sword... Like, I feel like I'm misjudging the time between each of them because they're taking so much longer. Ugh. I'm probably not going to pass this first time through. Oh! Oh! Hey, I did it that time. I don't know what it did, though. That was button mashing on my part.
So, I was going to say, a lot of people have issues with the whole, like, oh, superheroes just continue going even though, like, they've been wounded or whatever else. But I go, you're not taking into account the adrenaline of being a vigilante.
Well, but there's only a certain amount that would help you.
Not though. Like
adrenaline
there are
not
people
a
from
cure-all.
war that literally have been shot fatally, and they literally go on to finish the battle, and then they die. Like, I mean, that's significant.
Yes, but I feel like war and vigilantism are not quite the same spheres.
Well, maybe not a fair comparison, but all I'm saying is that the idea of having adrenaline is a pretty significant.
Yeah, but the problem with adrenaline is that it's not.
It's not controllable necessarily.
Well, it's not controllable, nor is it consistent. Like, you can't be like, oh yeah, I just need someone. You screwed me up.
You done bonked your head.
Well, now you get to face Ra's al Ghul's magic fun house. Did you even practice the drop kick? So there you go. Should I tell you what to do, or should I just let you figure it out?
Maybe I should just fail. I don't know.
You have to press the...
I don't know any of the controls anymore.
Well, you could have... I was about to explain. You could have let me try.
Okay, give me one more chance.
You have to press the trigger button to dive, and then you pull up, and that gives you your little added boost. So try to follow his little ghost snail trail.
Okay, so
because that gives you the guide of when you need to
go down, and then
but you have to hold glide the whole time. Don't stop gliding, because then you'll just free fall. And then you... I told you not to stop gliding!
Okay, I'm going to let you do this, because I'm clearly struggling. How do I glide? Because it's not A.
Yes, it is. It's holding A.
No, but I can't hold trigger. I can't hold trigger. I got you.
No, that'll just continue to dive. But follow his snail trail, because that'll give you the guide of, like, when you need to dive. And when you need
trigger is the dive, but then keep
you have to hold on to A.
I got you.
Yes, because otherwise you will just free fall. Yeah, because I'm nearly dead, Roz. That's why my body's becoming weaker.
Like he did it. He's like taking ownership.
I did forget that technically the weird hallucinogen we took to do this is technically keeping us alive right now. But like, only a little.
How do you mean?
It's some kind of weird medicine. Well, I mean, heroin used to be a medicine.
Voodoo medicine.
There you go. It's Voodoo Chalice. That's my new metal band, by the way. I'd believe that was a metal band, Voodoo Chalice. I screwed it up.
What type of metal, though?
Well, it's
metalcore.
I'm talking like the blackest of black metal. The kind where that's not even music anymore. It's just industrial noises. Hi! I don't want to do this. That was really weirdly slowed down, Batman. I'm not gonna live. I don't like fighting Sandmen. Tusken Raiders suck.
Cut me a new one.
I don't need any more new ones.
I'm new and ones.
I'm peeing from 3 different orifices. Oh, okay. I don't know what he just did.
Put a maggot hole in your belly.
Ah, okay. Well, that one I just ate all of those. I don't like that these guys also, if you try to jump from like too far away, they dodge because they're assassin-y types. He's dead. Although I think he's an hallucinogen.
It bothers me when they always include the whole double kick. I'm using both legs and just jumping into you. Well, those types of kicks have always bothered me. Because
but they would work theoretically.
Nah,
they would really be just as. It would be just as disruptive to you.
That's my point.
But it's the full force of your entire weight. I mean, you don't get that in a regular kick.
See, I don't mind it. Like, okay, so back to the we had talked about this briefly, but the whole
Did we?
Unleashed,
Have we talked about anything briefly?
Well, okay. We hit on this, the whole concept of Unleashed, the movie. There's a part where he actually jumps into a guy. Oh no, I'm sorry, this is Ambach. It's a different movie. But he jumps into a guy and literally like puts both his knees on him and like jumps into him and basically like puts him to the floor. I'm like, okay, see, that would be effective, and it would also
It's
not
more
hurt
of a
you.
grapple at that point.
Right. Exactly. I mean, at that point, you're just concussively blasting through their chest.
Am I? Okay, I thought that continued on for longer. I clearly don't remember this section as much as I thought I did.
Either that or it really was hard for you the first time.
Well, for the first time, it probably was. You consider that you died twice in 5 seconds.
Hey, I didn't remember the controls. So
well, you
give
didn't.
Me a break.
You also didn't let me explain them.
I need to see him now. I'm running out of time.
Yeah,
This bat suit is going to permanently fuse with my forehead.
that's already happened. He's just accepted it. Alrighty, we're gonna go find Roz.
Talia goes to pull it off. It's just paint. Starts pulling his skin off.
That's what I was gonna say. It was gonna be a lot more graphic. Yeah, D. Bradley Baker, good actor, done lots of stuff. Clone Wars is great. I've been watching
Why
Bad
hasn't
Batch
he-
recently. There you go. There's a segue.
Why hasn't he just jumped into the Lazarus pit?
Give him a moment. He's got a monologue first. The Lazarus pit's right behind him. I will never kill.
What? You lied to me.
Yep.
I needed a sample of your father's blood.
I don't know if we can hear the TV. We had to turn it down because we had sound issues, but we've got subtitles. And here he goes.
Use my sword.
And they do that a lot in movies. People stabbing swords into concrete. That's a great way to ruin the sword. Or I mean,
All right,
like
so go ahead, Bad Batch.
Bad
Because
Batch.
I haven't watched that yet,
you
but I
haven't-
want to.
Do you? I wasn't sure. You didn't seem as interested in it.
No, I
I'll
actually
admit-
thought Bad Batch was one of the more interesting parts of Clone Wars.
Well, that was
to be
only the
honest.
final season.
Yes, but I'm just
Oh,
saying.
I forgot this is part of this. Yeah, okay. So Lazarus Pit. If you've seen Arrow, this is how it really works. This is actually a pretty alright fight. Although, no one will ever beat Liam Neeson.
That
Sorry.
is true.
He's just the best. It's good. I wasn't admittedly as sold on it. A lot of people were like, "Oh, Bad Batch is great. It's the best part of season 8." No, season 7 was the last season of Clone Wars.
I actually really appreciated Bad Batch. Yeah.
I thought they were cool, but I was like, I'm not sure how much mileage they would have for a whole show.
Have you liked it though, this far?
There's only 3 episodes so far. It's coming out. It's like still in production. So, of the first 3, I'm interested enough to keep watching. It's a little weird. It's not Clone Wars anymore. And because it's still happening, I don't want to.
Transported to the Coliseum.
Well, technically, we've still got drugs in our system. I have drugs in my butt. If you can name that comedian, you get a star. This part is much. Oh, I've got to. Oh no! Oh boy, I've got to do the blade takedown like all the time now. Okay, away and hold. That wasn't it. Oh,
Maybe
hello.
it was it.
Oh, I gotcha! Oh, nope. Okay, hold. That's what's throwing me off is I'm not used to holding Y for counters. I'm normally used to tapping it once. Okay. See, I still get hit by the last one. Eee! Haha. Oh, see, they dodge stuff. I can't talk while fighting sand people. But hey, Star Wars, that's another good segue. I mean, we're already talking about Star Wars with... I'll say
sand
that...
people,
Oh,
yeah.
come on. Wow, that was awful. It's good. And if you want to, watch it, because it's good. Okay, see, I didn't
See,
get hit that
I
time,
was
but that
actually
wasn't a
anxious
takedown.
for it, so you're kind of saying, it wasn't amazing.
Well, perhaps because I wasn't expecting much. So I was kind of like, oh, it's...
Okay, apparently he gets to be a massive torso
Yeah,
of
it's-
victory.
Yeah, he's turned into Zenyatta. I didn't think you'd get that reference because I don't think either of us have played that game. It's true. I've never. There you go. Judge us on our lack of gaming. It's because neither of us have played Overwatch.
Well,
That's
there you
because we play a thing called TF2.
Yeah, that's...
It's like Overwatch, but it's good.
What? Okay, so what is the draw of Overwatch? Help me out with that.
I think it's
even
more
just
flashy
our
characters
viewership,
and
because I'm curious.
I think it's the flashy characters and the setting.
Yeah, but it's not that interesting.
Well,
because I'm a story player again.
See, and I think that's the problem. I've even heard a lot of people who are fans of it, who have played both, have said TF2 benefits from being simpler. 9 classes only. Because by now, Overwatch started with I think 15 or something, even more. And now it's up to freaking 40 or something nuts. So it's the balancing is always off, I've heard people say, and the characters never get much development. And so I don't know what the draw is, admittedly.
You did not touch the ground. You just decided to
I don't mean to jump into the Wolverine claws. I've got to time
Wolverine!
I've got to time my shots. There you go. I'm getting them right now. Come on.
There's Sabretooth, and there's Wolverine.
I can't do it. Got him. Can I...
See, this seems like a very...
This is very...
familiar fight.
This is a little arcadey.
Yeah, I was about to say. This seems like a very,
Come on now. I just got to get him once.
This is a very familiar feel.
Gotta. Please let that be it. Why is it not it?
Because let me guess, there's multiple stages of
wouldn't you guess? Have you played this before? You must have. It disappears into the sand and then
level 9,000.
See, these kind of counters I can do.
Well, because all you're doing is boxing.
Well, just elbowed him in the face. I do like this fight as much as it's arcadey. I think it's a little more interesting. So anyways,
So now she's talking trash about...
No, she's trying to get us to kill him. She wants us to kill him. Because he wants us to become Ra's al Ghul.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so that's what's going on here. But of course he doesn't want to do it because... Oh, there you go. Christopher Nolan.
You will have to die.
Whoa! Alright. Bad Batch.
Do that,
I didn't realize you were as expectant of it as I was.
Wow, well, that was a lot of people.
You have to, and guess what? You have to press Y that many times. You actually do have to counter all of those. I mean, they
make you counter that many?
Yeah.
You'll
notice that. You'll notice that each of them had a counter indicator.
What a biblical reference.
Well, Lazarus Pit. I mean, come on. What? As if that's new.
Lazarus Pit, I suppose, was a little less obvious or on the nose. I Am Legion.
I assure you, of biblical stories, Lazarus is more famous than Legion. Absolutely.
But a direct quote.
Your judgment is but a direct quote, no one's gonna know. Anyone who knows who Lazarus is, look, watch. I have to press that until all of the blue marks disappear.
That's insane.
So you just gotta pound it. You don't go anywhere. You're thinking of going with that.
I may have.
You're askew because I forgot to do that.
I have extensive knowledge in it, but I'm just saying. I also appreciated that quote when you saw that in
Lord of the Rings. Or the Hobbit, rather.
The Hobbit, the second Hobbit.
I thought it was a little more clumsy there.
I did it! I didn't
I don't know what I did.
Clumsy. I felt like it was fairly.
I thought because it's in episode 3, and all of episode 3 is clumsy.
No, it's not episode 3. I thought that's episode 2. I'm fairly confident it's episode 2.
No, he finds them in Angbad in episode 2, but I think that quote is from episode 3.
Angbad? It's Kundabak.
That's what I meant. Yeah, that's what I meant. But maybe I'm wrong. I have not committed enough of that movie to memory because I don't want any of it in my memory.
Well, that is fair. I mean, it's again, we've talked
about that. I'd like to forget about it as fast as I can.
We're not going to digress down that rabbit hole again.
Rabbit hole?
Rabbit.
You said rabbit hole. I keep trying to talk about Bad Batch.
Okay, so go back to Bad Batch.
It's good, but I don't know.
Is there further character development? Because I felt like there was such room for...
I suppose they do explore the character development they had the potential of.
Well, and see, that's all I was interested in.
Well, okay then. I didn't realize you were as interested in it because you didn't mention it when we watched season 7 together.
Well, see, that to me was
one of the things
that piqued my interest in that.
Well, see, to me, the best part of season 7 was, of course, the Order 66 stuff with Rex and Ahsoka. Because that was the finale. That was the final 2 episodes. Was all about. I keep screwing that up. was all about that. Come on. Are we almost done? Is he almost done? Let me get him out. I think they're going to jump me again. Oh, he's a sandworm. Oh, I think he's... Oh, we're going to do this again. Eyes in Yada. Oh, okay. He's leveled up his attacks. There's been a patch.
He's a sandworm. Is there something I
Well,
need to
I thought he was going to do a Dune thing where he was going to jump out of the sand at me again.
The way I'm just picturing Wormy from SpongeBob.
When I say sandworm, that's the first thing that comes to your mind? Not... I mean, the only acceptable answers are Dune or maybe the asteroid worm from Star Wars.
Yeah, okay. The Star Wars one I'll give you.
Which it's not even sand and I'm not even sure it's a worm, but I am going to...
If it's a worm!
I don't think I passed off to you the last time I died. Whoops.
And the hunt for my successor goes.
So, yes.
Until I found the arrow.
I don't know if that's... Yeah,
no, this is a different... This is
Maximum Ponce. Well, Talia was in Arrow.
Yeah, but this was the...
And Talia was in Arrow.
I understand that, but...
And the other daughter of Ra's al Ghul that he has
Which is
lots
interesting,
of.
but apparently they get around.
Apparently Ra's got around.
Well...
He's got a bunch of daughters. Why is it always daughters, too? I get...
Oh, dear!
You gotta avoid the Wolverine! And you've got to zap him with your electric stick.
What? What do I...
You got to shoot through his army of terracotta soldiers.
With what?
With your electric beam. It's left trigger and B. And it should auto-target for you. No, B.
Left,
that was X.
I
don't think you want to be this close, because you don't... Well, you're just about into the sand.
What? One more.
You're just gonna You're gonna get one more turn. I'm getting hiccups. You're gonna get one more turn every time you die now.
Well, I mean, to be fair.
Well, I suppose I've played this
that
more,
often,
so sure.
Therefore the controls are unfamiliar.
Well, you sure blame it on that. It'll give me time to finally talk about Bad Batch. I don't know what to say about it.
For as much times as you've started this conversation,
I have started this conversation
you have
more
failed
times
to actually
than
launch it successfully.
and the more times than there are episodes to watch. It's interesting, but I don't know. I didn't think that they were like as awesome as a lot of people did when I first watched season 7. I don't exactly know why. Oh, I thought you could jump through those at least. I perhaps should have prepared my thoughts before I brought it up. But you just got to keep shooting until you get through, because you'll get them eventually. But you got to, yeah. Here's what also worried me, and perhaps I had to overcome a degree of cynicism before I could... You can't stand still. Because the problem I have with Disney... And they're I
totally jumped multiple times.
You said, at least I'm working more than what you did.
I did.
And then stood as a blade came right at you.
I straight up pushed jump and it did not.
A likely story. I suppose that might be it, is that I had to overcome a degree of cynicism because Disney's approach to Star Wars, ever since they bought it, has been throwing it at the wall and seeing what sticks.
Wow.
So you
can't really blame them for that.
I'm gonna blame them for that.
Well, they didn't do any of their due diligence in the back.
Well, but and this is justifiable then?
Well, no, not at all.
Because my point is, literally, anytime they've ever come up with a character that people have liked, they've gone, give him a series. Cassian Andor, one movie, wasn't even the best part of it, gets a series, or is going to. And then the chick from Mandalorian was going to get a series until she got fired, which that's, I suppose, some news we could talk about, but that's
not news necessarily because it wasn't recent.
Or it's like Ahsoka's getting her own series, which, admittedly, I have less quibbles with.
A little interesting.
Yeah, I have less quibbles with that because at least it's a main enough character, but we're going like Cassian Andor, I heard, what's his head? Poe was going to get a series at one point.
That doesn't need to happen.
Yeah, it's like literally their first response to whenever someone says, "Oh, we like this new character," they go, give him a series. Boba Fett's getting a new series after Mandalorian.
Why do we need to know Boba Fett's story?
Well, you have not seen Mandalorian season 2 either. We'll talk about that next.
I have not. No.
Yes. So he's in
Have
that.
you watched
Spoiler
that
alert.
without
Yes.
me?
Well, you didn't even like Mandalorian season 1 that
I
much.
didn't love it. No.
So
you're
I
right.
was like, I guess I'll watch it because I was curious, and then it managed to suck me in. I didn't watch.
So it's actually better, you say, than the first season. Okay.
But like, I'm not done with Bad Batch. Now this one's your fault. That's my only problem is they seem to go. Someone said one positive thing about these characters, give them a series.
Yeah.
So I was kind of like, everyone was like, oh, Bad Batch was cool. Then they're like, oh, we'll give them a series then. So maybe it was a cynicism on my part that was like, this is going to be dumb.
But I felt like Bad Batch had enough actual follow-up that could happen. Whereas most of the time if people say, I'll give them a series, if they're trying to invent or concoct something in the last minute kind of... Like, if they're working from behind the 8 ball, then that's a little bit too late. You know, you're kind of...
Behind the 8 ball, that's an interesting...
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't have used that in this context, but sure. So yeah, I suppose I'll admit I started a little bit jaded, and it did. So I suppose the fact that it managed to sucker me in past that, there you go. That's got to be enough of a recommendation. It's only got 3 episodes again, so there's not enough.
Are there going to be more or no?
Yes, I think there's only going to be like 8, our standard sort of small batch season.
This wasn't part of the
But sure. Now this is a stupid sword. That sword looks dumb.
So much
I'm not
so
gonna
that
kill
he
you
just
with-
threw it down and was like,
I'm not gonna kill you with. Oh, this is another sci-fi stretch for me. It's a batarang.
It's a boomerang. That's
Well, literally, I gotta lock onto his head, and then woo! It's the first time a batarang's acted like a boomerang. So I guess there's that.
and he looks like that when he dies.
He's not dead yet, because Batman's not gonna kill him. Of course not. We're just gonna suck stuff out of his face with a horrifying. He invented that. He sat in a lab and went, you know what? What if during a fight I got to extract fluids from a man's
I
body?
could suck a man's face.
Because the leeches, you just couldn't keep them in his belt. They got all over the place. Nope, not a chance. That line's
Tell
a
you,
little.
I'm sick. Did you not remember that part?
You saw my face. Tell ya, I'm gonna die.
I can't join any crusade.
Now I suppose they didn't do this in Arrow, but they sort of did, where it's like repeated exposure drug makes you, yeah. So he's dying.
I enter the pit. I am frightened of what will come out. The Lazarus pit has corrupted your mind. Think
Yeah.
about it.
So there you go. That's the story. The problem, I also can't talk much about the story because A, it's still happening, so I don't want to spoil it, and B, there's only 3 episodes, so even I don't know what's happening.
Right.
But it's good. It's interesting. They've managed to make me appreciate the characters more than I did. I hadn't even initially intended to talk about this. What I intended to talk about was Mandalorian, because I have been somewhat busy of late.
Watching just various Star Wars.
Yes, busy in a nerd sense, in that I've been watching a lot. I've been catching up on some shows. We've got a level up to do. I don't want a shockwave attack. That's dumb.
What is the shockwave attack? It was just the...
It's some kind of... hold down. Oh, this is for the dive bomb. Fine, we'll do it. So if you drop down on a group of guys, you can dive bomb, and then once you land, hit B, and it like scatters them. Physics, to the wind and all that.
Sorry to disappoint you.
Yeah, we're back to normal for a little bit because we're pumped on roids.
Raish and his forces are
Raish gave me some roids. I'm feeling much better.
expecting some kind of naturally occurring called Lazarus.
So yes, Mandalorian
Centuries,
is very good,
slowly perfecting
and I can talk about that
until he
because
became
I've
able
watched
to
more of
bring
it.
himself back from the dead.
There you go. So first we should perhaps discuss, you were not as big into Mandalorian Season 1. And I'll admit, I wasn't either.
It was just slow. It's not that I hated it. It just
was
felt very
slow.
slow to me.
I think,
Raish over the edge.
yeah.
That's all. That's literally my only complaint. It's not that it was bad or that it was bad acting or anything like that. It was
It's
just
not bad
slow.
acting.
Tried to convince
It
me
was very slow.
I can agree with you there. It wasn't strictly fast-paced.
Lazarus.
But then again, I think as much as it takes a little while to sort of get into, I think that actually helps the little bit more slow pace.
Raish is addicted to
Get up a little, you start slow, but you end up reaching a little more engagement that way instead of just being thrown in.
Well, okay. I suppose I would say it this way: if somebody didn't have a context for what Mandalorian was even about, or kind of the background of the whole,
well, it's all new. It's fairly new stuff, so I don't think you need much of a background. I mean, it presumes you've seen episodes at least 1 through 3, or not original 1 through 3, and nowadays 4 through 6.
Right.
So if you haven't seen those, then chances are you don't have Wi-Fi in that rock you live under, so you couldn't watch Mandalorian season 2. But
yeah, I really don't have much qualms with the show. I just felt like, as far as writing, they could have done a better job at maybe keeping some sort of thread that in each episode actually made there be a little bit more peril or something that caused me to go
peril. So you went with a different direction than I thought you were going to go.
Like, it's not even that. I just the reason I say slow is because there were times that it literally felt like nothing is happening right now, and there's not even any dialogue. So what am I watching?
Well, the lack of dialogue, I suppose, was deliberate, though. It's part of the character.
Okay.
Is this the way I'm supposed to go now?
And I'm not even saying you can't character build without dialogue. What I'm saying is, if you're going to do that, you have to have some degree of action.
This thing keeps coming back.
What does that say?
It says Titan. Okay. Hang on.
Okay, that's not specifically what I was... I wasn't going there specifically.
This is the thumbnail.
But it looked like white fluids, and I was concerned for a second.
This is the thumbnail. Oh, boy. I'm glad you said that.
Well, I mean, it's white fluid, and
no, it's not. It's green.
It is.
It's green.
Look inside there.
That's
That is
green.
for sure white underneath.
Green.
Green on the top, and for sure white.
Well, that's just how it's glowing. That's
that
how you symbolize things glowing.
Lactation milk, for sure.
Oh, it shouldn't be green anywhere. Gotta go to the doctor if you're getting stuff like that. Yeah, why does this keep coming back? I don't know what that's about. I also don't know where I'm supposed to go. So I agree. I didn't love. Here's what I would say. I felt season 1 was overrated. Which, if you look at how much press it got and how much everyone went nuts for it, then if you were to take like 80% of public opinion, that was my opinion, which was still good because public opinion was like huge. So 80% of huge is still big.
Right.
So I liked it. I just thought everyone went a little more nuts for it than I did. And I didn't quite get it. But I'll admit, season 2, I think, is better. And I'm not entirely sure why. I think part of it, again, is just a degree of familiarity. Like, season 1, I had to get used to the new setting and characters. I was like, oh, I don't know what they're going to do, so it took me a while to catch it. But then once I did get on board, by the time I was watching season 2, I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, I'm behind this now. Do I have to go back to the chick? Is she still counting for me? Or do I have to go up through there? I think I came in through that door. I think this is how I have to leave. I could be wrong. Where's my HUD? Not that. Where's my indicator? I've looked at the map.
letters in me HUD.
I don't know where I'm going, Mr. Krabs. Exit. There's 2 exits. So does it matter which one I take? I'm assuming...
This would be him, Mr. Krabs.
I'm assuming the big green spot's where I gotta go. So I gotta go talk to the lady. Not that one. Yes, well, whatever. Hi. Make way.
Make way for Batman's
Cape. Now this leads to a topic that I don't know that we're going to have enough time to discuss. I meant to get to this sooner, but I couldn't get through Bad Batch fast enough.
We may be able to do a 2-parter where we...
Yeah, well, like we did with Arrow, we'll continue this discussion if we have to stop it. But here's what I'll say. I have this... It's led me to a topic as I was watching it. I had this thought where I'm going... There were times I felt like I was being pandered to.
Within the first season or second season?
Second season specifically.
Oh.
But then there's also, it led to the question, I'm going, am I just being cynical? Because the question that I had throughout a lot of it is, what would you call the difference between genuine like appreciation of source material and just audience pandering? Like what's the difference? Because I think there's a bit of both in season 2. And I think allow me to present my opinion of what I sort of thought of as the difference, and perhaps you'll think differently. I swear I keep pressing wrong buttons. I swear that was where I had to go. I had to go. Okay, there's clearly more in this room than I saw. But here's what I think the difference is. I think pandering is throwing something in simply to have it in so that you can make a deal about it and then have people be like, oh, yeah, you did it's this person's back or this.
Right.
And it has no bearing on the actual story. And you
don't work it in for any sort of significant meaning. It's
literally just there for being there. I think I can do something like this, but I can't do it in this room. I have to blow this up somehow. I don't know how to do that because I can't. I thought you could do a thing with the line launcher where you get on top of it, but maybe I haven't unlocked that yet. But I've got to break through that thing in the ceiling, but I don't know how. What? I like how she didn't pause at all during that conversation. As I flew away and then came back, she just kept talking. I think she's dealt with Batman before. I wonder can I get on top of this space from out there? I don't know that I can. So here's the problem is you haven't seen it.
Well, no, but I was actually going to comment.
And it's still fairly new, so I don't want to exactly talk about.
Well, you don't have to talk about the topic. If I can on a thematic level.
But I kind of want to.
Well, but
can't.
Let me venture a guess real quick at the difference, because we've actually made this comment about the later Assassin's Creed games as well, which is that on a historical level they did this same thing where they shifted into, okay, we're just salting in random historicity simply because, and it doesn't have any bearing on the actual story, and it's not built into the actual narrative, and so it feels very forced. I feel like the same argument could apply, and maybe again, I've never seen it.
I think that's kind of my opinion. I want to be able to talk about it. So you still would watch it then? Is what you're getting?
Oh yeah, I would watch it. No
this is what I was trying to do, was to get up. Oh, I think I've got enough riddles to do the next Riddler thing. So this is what I was trying to do. Is we've unlocked this ability where once you have the line out, you can stand on it, which allows you to like climb up. Yeah. I was going to use that to break through that ceiling bit, but I don't think I can. I see a Riddler trophy over there, though. So I will have to be broad, and anyone who's seen it will know what I mean. So there's some characters that appear from Clone Wars. That was a failed attempt. Did you catch that?
Yeah.
I was too far away. He's back. He actually rolled over the windowsill with his back. Hang on, I want to see if I can do that again. It was almost like that, but he literally, while he was doing the roll, he was still on the windowsill.
He just crushed that glass.
There you go. I don't just give me the riddle, dude. Where more there is, the less you see. What could I be? What do you think the answer is? We've made this joke already. Darkness. Stupid Riddler. Writes dumb puns.
Doesn't make it better.
I want you to go away, Riddler. I don't know what the weird glitchiness is. Is that? I don't know why that's a part of his setup. Because well, I guess that's our current objective. Oh, wait, what? Oh, we're stupid. We've been so focused on what we've been doing, we forgot, the actual plot of the game. We got the blood sample from Roz so we could give it to Freeze so we can make the potion. Not a potion. The cure. And so we got to go back to Freeze. But we're going to do this Riddler mission. Now I know. Oh, this is another thing you got to do. These are the new Joker balloons. That seems more in character with Joker's personality.
Yeah.
The balloons, I'm like, why? Whoop, whoop, whoop. This is not the way I'm sure they want me to do that. Riddler trophy. Let me just go get it. Oh, I can't. I'm remembering now the pieces of kit I don't yet have that I need for doing these things, so I'm gonna have to come back for that one. So there's Zuke. They've got a jammer too. There's characters. There's a character whose name starts with A in Clone Wars, who appears again in season 2. And there's also a notable other Mandalorian who's also in Clone Wars who appears. And then also another famous bounty hunter. And that one's obvious because I already mentioned that he's back.
Yeah.
And that's been part of the promotional stuff. So that I can talk about that. I think the Boba Fett stuff is the best. And it's non-pandering. Because he's in like 3 episodes, or more even. And he affects the episodes in such a way that it's like, without him, the show wouldn't have happened the way it did.
Right. To me, that's
he
why
became
it's not
integral.
Pandering. Yeah.
The plot was based on him being there.
Right. And
he
if
didn't
you
just
could do
show
that,
up.
then at that point, it's not pandering. It's
Plus,
actually useful.
always props to Tamura Morrison.
Well,
Tamura?
there you go.
I don't know how it's pronounced. But now here's the thing. I've always preferred Jango to Boba.
Really?
Yeah, Jango just, I think...
Only because of the game. You
No,
have to admit it.
because of the movies. I like Jango more as a character than Boba because Jango was... Jango came across as very much... You don't own Jack Diddley squat,
You
bro.
don't own your own eyeballs. Much
Wait,
less
whoa.
the city.
How does he know? Oh, I thought that guy had the jammer. Yeah, shoot me through the vent. He should be able to see me.
Do it, Billy. Shoot through the vent.
That was humorous. We own Jack nothing.
We can't even see what's
I
in
can't.
front of our face.
Bad times. Oh, crap, there's 2 of them. Oh, no, they're going to the body. I'm going to have to do this quiet like... Can I get both of them? Ow! Crap, I didn't realize all 3 of them were there. I was going to try to get a double
Just done
takedown.
got capped.
I was going to try to double take down those 2 dudes. I've always preferred Jango, and so getting to see Tamura Morrison back as a Fett. I'll take Boba if I have to. I'd have loved to have seen him again as Jango, but we know for sure Jango's dead. So seeing him again playing
With
a
this
Fett
whole
character...
head rolling off of his body thing.
Yeah. I'm glad to see him back in that capacity, because he's great, and I appreciate the way they handle it. And again, he's integral, so it's not pandering. I think the other notable Mandalorian character who reappears, you don't even know who the character is. So can I talk about this character? You probably, because she's hardly in Clone Wars. So, do you mind?
Well, I mean, I don't care.
I don't think you're going to know. Do you know who Bo-Katan is?
The name sounds familiar.
She's a notable
How do I take out
Mandalorian
the
character.
whole-
You can use any of your tools, but I think batarangs work the best.
saying, how do I
You can't
do that
punch it.
again?
I think you have to hit it with something. I use the batarang. It makes the most sense, but you have to. Okay, left trigger is how you prime any of your tools, or you could do that. That auto fires it. But if you whenever you select a tool, you hold left trigger, that draws it, and then you use right trigger to use it. So Bo-Katan is a Mandalorian character. She appears in an arc about the planet Mandalore. And what? Okay, see, now we know for sure that it's not in real time, because 4 hours was like 20 minutes ago. So clearly there's been some screwiness. And she's back, and I never really cared about her in Clone Wars. I do think it's interesting that it's the same actress, which is cool. Like, the same actress who voiced her plays her, which I was like, oh, well, that's always fun. And that doesn't happen enough. We came through that door. Don't you...
Why
That's the door we came through. You gotta pay attention when I'm playing. That's the problem. You're not paying attention when I'm playing.
I was, but my issue is where were you at?
Yeah, well, you got to go through. I went across.
Where was you?
I went across
Where
the
was you
chasm.
at?
You need to use your line launcher.
Oh,
all the way at
from-
the top. Use the D-pad. No, that's not the line launcher.
But
That's
I'm
the
saying I
grappling
have
hook.
to be up here.
No,
to do
not
it,
strictly, but this will help.
right? Okay.
It's the top one, all the way. And then you left trigger primes it, and then you aim it, and then you right trigger to use it. And that worked. That is true of all of the gadgets. And then drop, which I think it will either happen or you could push B to drop off immediately. The dudes, by the way, are through the door you're about to walk through. Keep going the other way. There's a door, and you'll walk through it, and there will be dudes, so prepare.
These are dudes. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. I was talking about Bo-Katan, right? The fact that it's the same actress, I think that's cool. That doesn't happen enough. A lot of times they just change actors and actresses for voice roles, which makes sense sometimes, because it's like sometimes either the voice actor doesn't look enough like the character, so you have to go with someone else, or sometimes it's availability and stuff. But I like that they did it, because they could. And she's interesting enough. I actually think they improve upon her a bit from Clone Wars. Okay, there's dudes.
How do I...
Gotta make sure.
I can't remember how to...
Detective mode is the left.
I have already done that, but
then I don't know what you're trying to do.
I'm trying to duck or what is it
right
called?
trigger.
Oh, there we go.
Although they'll still see you if you're doing that. So I mean, it's not a pure sneak. And then there's an episode in which the notable A-Name character reappears, and that I think I gotta admit felt a little pandery because it's one episode and. Maybe it was the actress. It didn't feel like the same character to me. They brought back the character from Clone Wars, and it didn't feel like her. I've spoiled it. It's a her. Whoops. But either way, I just felt like, it didn't see, and it wasn't very consequential to the plot because it's literally like they meet, and they have one episode together, and then that's it. And she's gone, and you never talk to her again. So I felt like it's a little fan servicey, where it's like they did that just so they could say they did it and put it in the trailer, and then everyone watches it.
Well, I mean, but at that point, what's the question? The question is, is there a part of that that's forgiving
that
based
won't
on...
kill people, by the way. So if you do that, they'll know that it's you. Right now, they don't know you're in here, at least.
Well, I took a guy out already. So with it,
did you?
So, yeah.
You knocked him. Oh, so they do know you're in here. Well, all you did was knock him over. It doesn't knock them out immediately.
Okay.
So you probably just knocked
him off.
So now they know you're here, but at least I suppose they don't know where you are. That's useful.
I'm embracing.
So what were you saying? You were talking about.
I'm saying, is there part of that on a production level is excusable or forgivable because they do have to promote it to a degree simply by
no,
nature
I don't think it's excusable. Well, okay, no. You're talking about simply the inclusion? Because they could have promoted it using any of the other characters who were in it because people would have watched. They could have promoted it with Boba Fett, and they did. But Boba Fett makes sense because he's relevant, very relevant. He's quite instrumental to the plot, actually. Whereas this other character has more fan credibility, but isn't...
How do I get
you have to
that?
use your thingy, grappling gun.
What?
Grapple hook. You can... Yeah.
Like,
You can, yeah,
This?
no grappling hook. That's the line launcher. The grappling hook is that, or the bat claw they call it. You can grab stuff with it as much as use to grab yourself to other places. I feel like I got to wrap up because I'm rambling and we're at the period we might want to have to switch anyways. But there, okay, you.
I'm just gonna walk in like a.
That was K. Wow.
Might as well go down and.
Well, I'll conclude my thoughts in 30 seconds or less. Some of the characters are pandery, not all of them though, and it's still a good season.
But the rule of thumb is you have to integrate it. That's in the same
you
way.
got to
that
integrate.
Assassin's
Now, here's what
Creed
I'll also
is
say though.
not.
Here's also what I've say because I forgot to mention this, and I probably don't have time. But this is a good enough stopping point, so I'm not going to start playing until I've stopped talking. The season finale has a very big twist. Not a twist. A very big inclusion that I'm not even going to give any hints about because it's very huge. And the fact that they kept it a secret for so long is pretty dope. But, any of you who watched it will know what I'm talking about. But, that's in a circumstance where you could argue, I mean, it's for literally the last maybe 10 minutes of the episode. But it doesn't feel as much like pandering because it still fits within the world. I think the notable A-name female character didn't even feel like herself, which, understandably, it's significantly later. Mandalorian takes place in Clone Wars. It's, I mean, like, we're talking, I think, like 30 or something years. So you could argue, oh, well, she's just, you know, aged and developed. And I'm like, it still didn't come across the same. Whereas this other character, the finale twist character, it still feels like them. And it still makes sense and is relevant to the story and is relevant to the plot. Even though you don't get to see them, it makes sense with the world. So I guess that's the other takeaway. Is it doesn't have to be... There's two methods. The Boba Fett method is make them integral to the plot. The other method is keep them consistent with the world.
Right.
Even if it's just a snippet where you only see them for a little bit, make sure that snippet fits the character perfectly.
Right.
Because if you do the other thing where it's like they get one episode and they don't feel like them and then they're gone, that feels pandering to me. And I've rambled as much as I think I physically can. So anyways, we'll pick up in the next episode. That was the couch. I don't know if you heard that, but it was the couch.